Welcome to Kudos.
Cause you're a star, bright in the color you are. Go and take it, kudos. Take it,
Welcome to Kudos.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first of its kind, the one and only, all the way from East London. We are shooting this in Cape Town. I am literally probably the only guy with this best view right now that I'm looking at. Coming at you straight from Nigel's place. Big shout out to Nigel. Such a beautiful area here. I can literally see the mountain as I am sitting here. This is the first episode of Kudos. One of the biggest things, and one of the reasons why we're doing Kudos, is literally nothing to do with a lot of reasons why people are doing podcasts. I feel like it's a very significant thing that is probably important to touch on. A lot of people do podcasts to be for fame, or to get brands, or whatever. There is something that needs to be done. If you look around in the society now, you will find, I promise you, you will always find people complaining. There is always stuff to complain about. But in the midst of that, you will always find people that are actual practical heroes that are rolling up their sleeves. They are sticking them in the community. They are doing stuff. They are helping people. It's very important. Again, reiterate, they are helping people. These are busy with other people. These guys are busy with other people. They are helping to uplift the community. They're changing lives and all that. So we feel that it is of the most importance that we could give those guys their flowers, or we should be giving those guys their flowers, or we should honor their flowers. I think that was the beginning of the whole thing when I spoke with his speech. And he said, one of the things that I feel like we possess strongly is this whole thing of actually honoring Abantu, being able to look at someone and say, hey, cool, take a break. You are, working very hard. There is so many ways I've recorded this in my head. There's been so many times. But with me, I did not come all the way to Cape Town there. I'm with my team that I'm always traveling with. The very same guys that are responsible for getting me in front of the camera. I'm out here doing podcasts. But most of the time now, I'm someone that you would find behind the camera because I want to make sure that people look a certain way. And when ones are showing about, oh, D. Cool. Dark, and all of that. So that has been my thing. I just generally have a heart for people. And when we landed here, we discussed that. We came down with one person in mind, the very close friend to speech. He's a head volunteer at TAF. I'm not sure about when's by speech. Why would you head volunteer at a place? Is it a case of or is it something like that?
No, it's just a name or what they give you to make you work the hardest.
Okay, without making the introduction a bit longer, I am very excited. If I had to wait for this to be perfect, to be everything that I wanted, everything we wanted, there's a very good chance that we were not going to start anytime soon. So we have to start, we have to be doing something. But most importantly, the very, very, very exciting thing is to be able to sit down to people that I consider heroes with it. People that are doing stuff, that are helping other people. The most incredibly important thing in the eyes of the good Lord is abanye abantu. That's why the first commandment, thou shalt not kill. I say this to say, when the idea was birthed, or we were pregnant with it, the first person we thought about is Dabin, is I say Rhonda Bosch, and we are watching in the golden hour at the most beautiful. Out of all the people that we could have thought of, your name came up. And the most annoying thing is that when I met you the first time, everyone kept on saying, "Yo, we are born in fashion." And I'm thinking about, nah, man, handsome, and but yeah, we're not going to talk much about it. Guys, please, man, help me welcome Wonga. Wonga is a very significant figure in the society, not only in the society, but in the lives of Abandona Banyini. And I feel it. In fact, I don't feel it. I know it for a fact that in order to umthikaso omdala obviously awugodwa. In order to fix mhlawumbe into ezifana teenage pregnancy and all that, is not to talk okanye come up with izinto that will help sustain it, but is to talk to the people that create it. So to address the problem, you must go down to the root. So to be able to hear and see someone that's like you and get a bit of feedback and everything that I basically heard about you before I start snitching on myself. Allow me to introduce you to the show, Tata. Kunjani?
Ndiyabulela kakhulu, and yeah, man, I think and obviously I think this is something that's very close to your heart, just judging from that intro as well. Yeah. So to be first guest here on something that I thought is going to be incredibly significant and something that's needed, especially in this space that you guys are navigating, and yeah, to be your first guest, There's an off-camera accent, and then there's an on-camera accent. So,
That's the one we want.
So yeah. So no, it's an absolute honor and an absolute pleasure, and yeah, man, just been following you guys and umsebenzi enwenzayo guys. So just keep it up.
I think to say you following us is a bit of an understatement, considering that Nikule Nospiu. That's Benjan.
No, I mean, I think it's like he's exactly the person you know now. Snitches get stitches. So, nigga. Yeah. So, mandithi why head volunteer kaqala ngoku. Udala ba head volunteer, so ndizama ukuthi kudala obanje man. Lona imaziyo ngilonimaziyo nami. But look, I mean, on a serious note, though, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised with the journey, and the courage. I think, and I think it's probably the courage and the stubbornness to carry on doing this and having that vision and having that purpose, and to sing with the different avenues in the industries and seeing all of this unfold. It's something that I did think it would. Yeah. Yo. I was naughty, man.
Is it?
Nah, my man, but like not in a bad way. Like I was just like then energy too much. I was like a very energetic child. But luckily, kuleki family sport. Nabazala basupporta, abazala basithandayo. So I was allowed. Tata, I think I manage a club, citizens. So I was always the 5-year-old. So I was always that child, just like full of energy, playing around, and I think so I've always been an energetic child. And luckily, opportunities happen through esports and luckily for Rimna.
I really love your line of answering that question and what it led to. Because you just casually spoke about yourself, but you mentioned something that you are currently very active on at the moment, like very heavy, that it actually comes all the way from the roots. This is something that has always been in your heart. Currently, right now, I did look you up, but I'm sure Bangumdo's out here. I've been taking to me by.
No, so chill, so good. So good. I see Almamela's church.
But I'm a big believer of allowing people to tell me about, no man, this is what I'm currently doing.
No. I mean,
but I want to allow you, Khonmane, to let us in as to what you are doing. I did see a bit of a history. What are some of the things that you have achieved?
Yeah.
And what are you currently maybe responsible for? Like what are you currently doing? Your wins and maybe lost there and there, unfortunately, being in the public space, your losses might just be documented as well. But that's safe to say in Dubai, you're winning.
It's not. Nah, man. I think I don't know. I think we're.
So I'm just saying. So I can say. So you tell us more about what you're doing.
Right. So I think obviously currently where I work, I work at a school called Egrove Primary as the head of cricket and rugby. But obviously, and then the community, I'm head cricket coach at Khalicha Cricket Club. And I think for me, I think that's like it's quite a massive project. It's a huge project for Emna because I've gone 360 and cricket to getting a bursary to playing provincially, growing up as Kolweni, to captaining a Wombe boys, to everything that I've literally achieved, like even the that I've got after school, it always came from sport, and the root was like Kalikaliche Cricket Club. So for me to obviously come back, and then I went on the Kalikaliche Cricket Club as a captain that as well, ended up as chairman yabo, and then came back as a coach as well. So I've done the whole 360 partner. So I think when we talk about projects that I'm currently working on that are very close to my heart, Ileana, yes, a culture cricket club, and just trying to, change the culture club and trying to get us back to Aposikoyo. And then, things that I do in that space.
One of the things that I've noticed from allowing people to introduce themselves, they have a tendency to skim over certain things. Not to say it's intentional. Just there, and then they keep it.
Yeah, because
so I don't want to miss this.
Sure.
I understand it's because of the posture of your heart.
Yeah.
I won't go and do that close over certain things.
Yeah.
Probably I wouldn't be surprised if some of the things that you have done, what you've accomplished, or who you've worked with, you don't see it as some sort of this was a milestone, this was a life-changing thing. I would say it's safe to say if nje nami nelokhu sizama xa kuthiwa ndimhle uyaqonda manje ngizothuka because ayonto inantsi kule yabo ndiphathelwe ne-drink kaloku ndilala nayo le nto ndivuka nayo,
and then so I would talk xa kuthethwa loo nto
yinto endiyiqheleyo
and ngoku confidence.
I feel like you give me the same.
No, I just feel like especially le yakho ye-looks ibalulekile abantu banikwe i-confidence because ininzi ezenzeka apha phandle abantu funeka banikwe i-confidence. So and the fact that bekuxelela wena I feel like khona into mani bathi vuka man, bathi vuka ube no-confidence so no, from this side lami uke wathetha nge-wins and losses. I mean, I think I really like andiza uba philosophical up. I think most izinto endizenzileyo it's things that I've visioned them. Like I have goals, I have sets. I said, guys, I need to accomplish this. This is the way we're going to go about it. This is how we're going to work. We put systems in place. So whatever shortfall ends, the journey or the destination never changes. But the journey I change. It sense wrong. Let's try another way. But we always try to get to where we need to get to.
You stick with the goal.
We stick with the goal. Yeah, 100%. So it's not to say. So when you talk about wins, and I think especially about whether you're a coach, whether you're a community builder, whether you somebody who's coming up with systems, whether somebody that is a head volunteer TEF, whether you're doing, you know what I mean? Like there are visions to what you want to do, and there are gonna be challenges, but obviously there are gonna be wins, and most of the times you are experiencing wins, and because you visioned it, we won't be Wednesday. So it's not to say like I want to skip things. No. Look, I mean, I can go on and on and on, but those be the wins of the people that we work for, which is the kids, which is the players, which is and I think it's something incredibly valid when you're working with a space in Sebenzagos, because people can do stats and say this is how much we've produced, this is what we've produced, but not
every number is
but the thing is, not everybody's gonna go play for the Springboks. Not everybody's gonna go play for the Proteas or Bafana Bafana. So what are you doing? Are you getting is what you are doing, the systems you've put in place, producing good people?
I feel like you're talking about yourself, but
no, I'm not. No. No, but the thing is, I'm also part of the system. I'm a child of the system. I'm a bursary boy. Yeah, but so when we create these bursaries for our kids to get a better education, to go to university, or to go to your more affluent schools for better opportunities, because to like. Talent, it's everywhere. Like talent, it's universal. You can find talent anywhere in the world. The problem is just the opportunity. So you need to create a space where you're creating the opportunity for that talent to work. And most of the times the opportunity isn't there. That's why kids don't actually make it, is because the opportunity wasn't created. So the work that we do, Tina, is to try and make sure that we're creating those opportunities for the talent to be nourished.
Oh, lovely. So part of creating those opportunities is also being a coach.
Yeah.
How many, like a number of people that you would say, as far as team is concerned, that I have to deal with this number of kids? Can be 12, 15, or
sure.
50. How many have you worked with so long?
Sure, in my life. You low number, Zizi, low number. I wouldn't know. Like for instance, I mean, for instance, clubbing, I've got about over 30 odd senior players, and then I also help with juniors because Kum's important. In 3 years' time, they're going to be senior players. You know what I mean? So whatever structures we've got at senior level, they need to understand from behavior point of view, from a culture point of view. So the time befika pana kuti bafika be ready. Even if I'm not the coach, but the culture has been created that guys, this is the way we operate. So
I love that. Definitely. I'm noticing about Lingwa just as me. If I do then and there, because here's what will happen. I'm getting excited with the things that you say. Sometimes you say something that I deemed, this is so significant. I would love to dive a bit more into this.
Sure.
And then, but and all of that. But you just said also something that's very significant. About you, part of you being a coach, you understand the depth of involvement that you will be part of in order to alter the kids' behavior. Them understanding the culture is going to be set in this way. Not that default culture you come with, kind of like culture of being taught certain things at home. But from a professional perspective, this is the culture that we're going to have to deal with. So is that the level of depth you work with? A lot of people, when you work with them, do you go as far as having to, talk about it in character and all of that?
Yeah, I think it's 100% because I mean, I think as a coach, I would rather work with a good character than a talented player who doesn't have good character, because you can coach somebody to be better. You can coach. You understand? But if you're not getting through to the person as a character, then it's going to be a problem. And one of the things that I don't like coaches say is when somebody gets into an A team or your first team, and then they remind him, "But okay, this is how we act here. This is the A team, first team we're and this is how we act." I'm like, no, it's going to be very different for that person to change their habits, because they've been doing something different for 5 years, working towards getting into first team, and then first team go to guys. You don't do that. You do that somewhere else. You don't do that here. And that's a problem that we sometimes have with player behavior, is that the structures and everything is only put in place at that level. But at junior level, it's like, we are coach, and a lot of things are not put in place. So for me, club culture is incredibly important. Even if you're running a foundation or even if it's a sports academy or whatever, I think we put more into the character from a young age. So when they actually get there, it's not a change. It's not a culture shock for one. It's not a say Kalango 8, but we'll up 8:30. We're not doing that at first team level. They know exactly from under 9 all the way to first team. These are the expectations. So So I think that should just be the way life is in whatever industry, in whatever field people work in. And I
going back to that concept, we clearly land when you think this is, unfortunately that's not. It doesn't matter how normal it is and how much you've been doing it. I think that's one of the reasons why you are effective, because you are able to identify those in no man. There are these things. This could be helpful to a culture. This could be helpful to a kid in this manner. More than just identifying talent and just working. There's that sense, that underlying sense of irresponsibility of managing the behavior, and also be on the lookout for a culture, making sure the big culture doing things at a certain manner. In your days when you were still playing, do you think these are values you learned from then, or they were the reasons why you got there?
I think I don't remember like ufundiswa yona, but when I started playing, especially I think it's after I actually got it sorry. So you go kumbule then 42 glonyaka. So I think I got it started in 97. Things were very different. I don't crack. I go for the yambo. Moisturize. So
you oh man, I think there's something magical about you. Look at this.
Yeah, no, of
Everyone
course.
wants to listen. Yeah,
of course.
to come and listen, eh?
And I know Sagum because I'm born and fun now. So, yeah. Don't my colleague.
What is this?
I know what is this.
Tower.
You must be serious. But I don't want to puma of track. Nice, Puma.
Oh my word. Yo, hey, that was hard. Yeah, I was slapped. But it's fine.
I'm not shy.
Nobody was attracted to
Dadlala.
aura in that.
Sonokwenzeka naleyo and I believe naleyo futhi uba yi-ora yantoni yaziwa nini nobabini asithina hayi ndalindo chawe vumelana nawe so Mdax, so I think
I'm not interested anymore.
So I think yes, going back to the question by Indweni Kule nayo. I played for different reasons. Cricket and it's something that I always wanted players I'm not to have the same. Cricket, it was predominantly white. Yeah, but I remember I used to go as the trials there as a culture cricket cup player. But we don't hit batsman. Cool. Okay, I'm your pitcher number 8. So now you're getting an opportunity, but the quality of the opportunity is rubbish. I'm a batsman. I'm a top order batsman. Got no pitcher number 8. So bangan bonika. When I got to Pesar and I found to Western Province prep, we are panning numbers of houses are pana. Your trial, I figure na belong by 3. This is 97. What do you do? I'm a batsman. Okay, go, pair up. Hey, next thing, same time. Now, the quality of opportunity was different. Then I got into Itimi Western Province. See, this is what I was going on about when I talk about the quality of opportunity or getting the opportunity. Okay. So now, throughout, I felt like I needed to prove I'm good enough to be because the surroundings, because that's Bambalo. Yeah, well, so it was different reason, which is probably why after school I didn't pursue with much vigor a professional career cricket. It wasn't because 19 year man, hey, I've been proving. You understand? So now what we try and create is
mileage part.
yazi stress kanjalo ndithetha ngayo I can't even know. So khawumema the emotional is sizengabantwana. So yeah, so sizama abantwana bethu badlale for the right reasons, not to prove anything. Just get there, show your skills, show your talent, be a good person, and good things will happen.
Lovely. So long you played.
Yes.
And then you got to a point where you have grown. You became a captain of one of those.
One peg. Yeah, one peg. Yeah. Yeah, that was. I don't know. I remember because I thing at that time, like it was like, oh, captain, and it is, and then somebody mentioned it, like, hey, actually, it was actually the coach. It's like, hey, you're actually the first black captain because it's called.
I was just about to say.
And then I thought to myself, and at the time, because when teammates are who you've been playing with for 4 or 5 years, so I think a lot about first black captain, no, captain the team so it only occurred to me then the significance and in the political sense, but I saw reactions. The younger, the 14, the 15-year-old black cricketers at school in. All of a sudden, it's like, hey, man, haibo. Yeah, and I remember a couple of years after I left One-Beg, we took it to me under 13 to, there was something called the One-Beg Super Skills. So we took about 4 of our boys from a college cricket club, Pana, to compete, and the band Boni Kamalam in Nanskeni in one of the pictures. And 2 of those guys in Lalanazo went on to play for Cobras, and they're like, Coach, no leave, and to them it was like an inspirational thing. But I'm man, coach, yeah. So only then did I start to understand the significance of because Tyson you could be or you could not be captain. It happens, and then maybe then after it started to kick in. But okay, cool. There is a significant. Because they've had so many cricket captains, so then I wasn't going to think too much about Wonga Lond from a political sense. But only after then, I think, hey guys, actually,
how long ago was that? Like when was
that? Like my late when I was, we have the bonilla up your corner. This bonilla up your corner, 192, Ben Puma, no man, the lecture 192, Chindan, Tanning done, Ben got to not to that was 2002. If I'm not mistaken. 2002, Chawana? Yeah. 2002.
Where have you been?
Where's the pa?
Okay.
Why cricket? Wakwadla cricket. Till today uthi angandikhuphi. Yeah, sikangakhupha wena. Wayipaka aba 4th or 5th team ubone that team dlala Tuesday ngof. That team that team izikhalaza kazinike homework Monday. But ma'am, I've got a game. Ukhona ayo worry yami ngile.
Lovely. Madam,
Yeah.
I'm genuinely getting a sense of really what makes you that specific person as far as sports is concerned or concerned. I'm not sure what's the right English. So,
Yeah.
no, so yeah, Chinese sometimes.
Yes.
So it genuinely does help. It helps us understand the significance of why you're actually being so effective. You're able to achieve some of the titles, if it's titles that you've achieved, even being named as a coach. I'm not sure what's your how do you feel about that? What do you feel is the responsibility that comes with it? Not just that responsibility, but you make sure that do you have a responsibility now of having to look over a whole team? No, not because I know this is the last question about sport before we move on to something else.
Okay. No, for me, like I think when I started coaching in college, I took it at the best time because the team wasn't doing well. They needed a change of culture. It was closest to rock bottom, and that's always a good place to start.
Okay.
Because you make changes immediately, and I come to complain because hey, I guys, yeah, understand. So I worked from that. I love your rock bottom because it can't get any worse. Yeah, but and then yeah, that's basically. And then so I think the biggest thing, guys could play, but there was a huge culture difference. People weren't taking responsibility. One bafika late, people don't show up at practice. So you start changing the culture. Abantu bayikhathalele bayenzayo immediately yabonakala ebaleni. So that's the first thing that we changed, and then after that, gradually brought youngsters because we got youngsters that were proper. But the problem is they were 15, 16. I'm saying, well, if you're good enough, you're old enough. But how do I bring them into a team, and how are we going to make them feel comfortable? Unfortunately, I had to let go of the entitled players. That you know what I mean, in a team environment. So I need
something you feel like it could have been fixed though.
No, we did. I did. No. Immediately, that's what I said, guys. This is the direction that we're going, and unfortunately, it's gonna have to be this way.
So that was
So that was my fix, and then the last couple of years we've added to Lendo, added like an extra coach, by the club, somebody who's gonna come help me. Ex-club member, I used to coach him, but now he's there, he's coaching the juniors. And eventually, the under 14 teams that he coaches, those like this will be the local first team. So now I need to gradually push myself out as well to make sure.
That's the plan.
It has to be the plan. You can't coach a team forever. It's impossible. And
another team.
No, I don't know, but my word cannot be gospel. I think I don't want to walk into a changing room up into the tetayo and be like, oh, okay, coach. And they're not even a question. But coach, what about this? But coach, now I don't want it to get to a point where you're only the tetayo, but to show coach, and then they go do it. They gotta think for themselves. They gotta have. And I need to create an environment where. But now, if I've picked you at 15 and now you're 21, I've had you for 6 years. You know nothing else but this. You understand? So there's a need for a new perspective, and gradually I'm working my way out so the new coaches can come in and carry on with the work.
So I was saying earlier on, well, it was not even that earlier on, a couple of minutes ago. Prime reason that people will give you the blueprint frequently, but I think we have a different definition of how things should work, because they think they can get an easy fix that they're just going to push a button and then boom, they are changing. And they keep on taking work out of the equation, because whatever you know, if you don't do anything about it, it doesn't take you anywhere. It's about whatever you learn. So I'm saying that because I feel like I've just gotten a blueprint of how you are able to achieve what you achieved with that team. The fact that it started from stretch, the fact that you were stuck to certain, well, not stuck, what's the right word? You sticked. Yes,
Stickhead.
yes.
Stickhead. Not your mother tongue, Zizi Teta, man. The villain, Metro. The villain.
So you just gave away a blueprint of it. It's significant. It is beautiful. I love everything about it, Khonwan. It is nothing short to being honored, just to be basically just have you just sit here, and then you can directly talk to the cameras that anyone that might be keen to listen and all that. It's something that's extremely close to mine. Now, I'm sure there's a couple of things that we probably likely haven't mentioned about sport. I know this, even when I talk about myself. Have you ever had a conversation with someone? "Oh, yeah, I saw there will always be, stuff like that. There's always stuff that you don't have enough time.
Don't have enough time.
I'm saying that because what jumped at me when I was just looking at your bio is the route that you are taking according to that bio. Because you're doing sports, and from then on, I think you did a bit of indoors representation.
Yeah, presenting, emceeing,
and all that.
Hey,
What
Fundini.
kind of work did you work with, like in terms of TV and
So,
media?
so back ngoku, I used to work at a company called the Sporting Chance. So we used to come up with sports projects like across the country, Joburg, East London, anywhere in the country. And then, but we had a media team, and so I just started doing interviews for the company, and then I liked it, and then I started now doing some stuff for like Super Sports Let's Play for the programs that we were doing.
Okay.
And then from then on, I kind of fell in love with the whole idea, and I think it was more from just having information about Lendo Ndienzayo. Yeah, and I think probably the biggest one we did as me and a friend of mine who says Umchak. We used to do a show called the Disky Nights, where we would. Basically, it's the same setup. It's literally a podcast setup, but there's a live audience, and then
slightly a bit better.
and then there was a live audience. Okay. There was a it was a live audience, sort of like an Oprah show with a soccer person, and it's like there's talking about their life, and then we gave the audience the unique opportunity to ask questions and interact with them. So yeah, we did that. I mean, we had some proper names. Dr. Kumalo came on our show.
No way.
Yeah, Teko Mutise came to our show.
Yeah, when you're doing that thing again.
Sorry. No, but like I was there. We like it was now we did Tovi Lagazi.
No way.
Nah, not yeah.
Are we talking these guys? Maybe also at his prime by any chance?
No. This is so after Tour is done. So he came to speak about the career. Yeah, we did. There's a guy called Edward Mutale. He used to play for the Pirates. He was getting about Bafana Bafana when they won 96. So we were the only show to do a 20-year reunion for AFCON 96. So we had him in Cape Town Stadium. So we did, yeah, man. So we did all of that and many more, of course. But yeah, so we did that, and I think that got us into the soccer media space around Cape Town. Okay. Then it's like, okay, cool, now we're getting gigs, getting us to do a SAFA award, getting us to MC a SAFA tournament or Coca-Cola Cup, or there's that open doors. And then obviously Umchaga, my business partner, went on to do stuff for the SABC. So yeah, that was the path that I took during that time. I'm still stayed coaching. I never left it. But I think one of the reasons I ventured into ezinye izinto but not staying away from sport was because it's an easier conversation now for me when I need certain doors opened.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can't box yourself. I'm just a coach, but you don't know anybody. So I needed it for me to create a name for myself in rooms that coaching would never get me into.
Okay.
Yeah, but and that's literally what it did.
I feel like you're trying to take over, because the next thing after that you're gonna try and. So I suppose, as much as we can sit here and talk about what are some of the things that you have emceed that you would maybe like to MC, which I would love to hear about. What are some of like a couple of events?
Yeah.
But the primary thing, the whole thing, when I avoid into this dialogue because focus spend abantu unfortunately because of those that TikTok. I struggle to even work on man and I'm just a couple of minutes.
Uvunothonga pha. Ndiyavuva.
So Kukumbela, I would want to find out what is the reason behind you pursuing that specific line of work in terms of emceeing. Is there a specific message type of a thing that you're trying to get out there? Or Kanye, if you were to be asked, what message then behind the whole thing are you trying to? Are you someone that says, you know what, I just want to make sure people are happy? Or Kanye, you know what, low key, I'm hoping to encourage, or I'm hoping to do a bit of this. Is there a personal agenda?
With emceeing work?
With MC.
To be honest, it just purely started off as through Disky Nights. That's literally it. And then obviously when I started getting more gigs, I mean, I think we did Banyana Banyana in Netherlands. I forgot about that. And we did 2 international games, Stadium, and only then did I realize, like, again, the power of getting to.
Wait, international games, there's game where
Banyana Banyana played against Sweden, and then a week later they played against, I think it was like Germany.
Now, how do you talk about something like that?
Oh, man, like. So when we did those 2 games, it was just like you're around people, like you pitch side, you literally there, players walk straight past you. There's Robert Marawangapa, there's this, and you're like, hey, I'm in this space. We'll never the same thing as Bona, as the media, and I'm like, oh wow. Match, you're sitting there when the press conference. Of course, and as soon as I was in that room, I was like, okay, cool. So now with power comes with responsibility. So I needed to be in those powerful rooms and be responsible with being there for me to be able to do X, Y, Z. Now I'm able to call and say, hey, my man, guys, man, now it's easier if that phone call is coming from me based on the past work that I've done. So I can say I used it for everything else that I wanted to achieve beyond.
As far as the nature podcast is concerned,
yeah. Okay.
Limited amount.
Punctual.
We have to. But I'm looking at the atmosphere.
Yeah.
An incredible city. Well, this side of the city, where last side that I went into, busy. Yeah. That could be the jokes who Otto was telling me is was going to when the toilets as the time went there. So sorry, it's the kind of jokes that
100%.
So I'm saying I'm looking at it and I'm looking at how just gold the mountain is now, the Table Mountain, and I think there couldn't have been a perfect time. I cannot think of anything much more perfect. You remember we were doing setup earlier on?
Yeah.
We had to wait. So I'm realizing that everything is coming together. I'm listening to you talk and I'm like, oh, I know this is the right person for this podcast. The fact that we started in Western Cape, I almost said the drive and gave away that maybe we might have, to get here.
So uthethile uyathanda uvela udonduluka uyabonga ubhili wabhuda.
That's my biggest problem.
Yo nawe man. Flyiwe apha first class.
No, siyaflaka.
Uyayedwa uqhubileyo.
Self-flag, good. So I think it's also fitting for Mane to employ a couple of words or a paragraph or 2 because of the heart and the reason of the existence of the show. That paragraph would probably be something to say how much I honor you. Mangaba include abantu. They can say there are 2 pieces on the site. I just speak for myself. It is just an honor to meet every time someone that is busy, his lips are rolled up, doing something. And more than that, someone that actually has a heart for it. The most significant part about it is because that passion gives you consistency. There's a lot of people now, we know of people now in big departments. If you can't mess people up, it's always one of the most painful things to see. But when you see abantu that actually have a heart for what they're doing, like, where do you get this energy? You are working around the clock. You are doing all sorts of these things. You're not even getting a dime for it. At most, to find about everything you're getting paid for, you are working. I don't know how many times would that be. I wish that I'm trying to be a button come and delight on oven and the atmosphere changing. And I know it for a fact that you are not one of those people that are going to say, I know, and get a big head now after someone has just said, listen, what you have just been doing with your life. With your life. Because la juice yakho yonke ye things to this day. When I was no problem and all of that. So such commitments is in Jala. I think the good Lord Himself and us better if we were not to honor them or appreciate them or acknowledge them and sit down with people that we actually appreciate, honor, and talk to them and say, hey, I see what you're doing. Because I can promise you, there's probably someone with a lot of complaints about the fact that you're here right now. There's always something to complain about. It is the most toxic thing ever. People always have stuff to complain about all day, every day. And I know it for an extent now. One of the shifts is significant was probably to try and manage how much you complain. Because one of the roles you've taken on, you are given less tool to work with, and then you are expected to make in that magnitude and all that. I'm not looking for a reply. I just want to honor you. I appreciate you. I wish I had a list of words. I think as episodes go by, I'll probably have some specific script that I will write and then bring it out for you. Flower. I can verbally give you flowers. And I'm saying to have met you now, I know that definitely Ubomi is about different because I know of so many people in the sporting sector, including Hodman. I'm fighting the urge to make that Wonga joke.
Again, so yo, shame. Like, this is proper, like, and then next thing, you guys when I order sometimes. Emotionally, holding back tears. Next thing, so go emotional. All right.
I hold in the good time.
Right,
I cannot honor you enough for money.
Yeah.
I cannot honor you. We appreciate you even taking time out, living your beautiful family. I know the other day that you were hosting us. It was just beautiful to have you. It's lovely to have met you. I wish you could keep this going frequently. Manikala na hapo kama na great podcast now.
Kamali man.
But thank you, man. So
what is this?
Like to shake your hand.
What is this?
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Guys, this has been the first podcast of Kudos. It was shot in Cape Town. It was shot by Extra House Studios. That is under the umbrella You're Tough, and a lot of other companies that have worked in so many other projects that we have done. I've had the honor and privilege of sitting with Wonga. That is just rolling up his sleeves. He's busy in a very deep manner, coaching and helping a lot of kids from around the community. This has been something that it's practically him. It's not just something he's doing. At this point, it's no longer any different. So when I encourage you guys, man, when you watch the episode, wherever you watch it, feel free to show a bit of love. In terms of your comments, the currency of the days and all of that. We would appreciate it, but friendly reminder, the reason why we're doing this podcast is so that we can sit down with people like Wonga. I'm hoping for a lot of them. I think when we start with Abandabanje, it's going to be a very difficult level to maintain. You guys, it's way down from here now.
Benteta ngeview bengathethe ngami benteta benteta ngeview.
Thank you so much, guys.
Welcome to Kudos.
'Cause you're a star, bright man. I know what you